Chiefs Kingdom. Stop scrolling right now. Arrowhead just erupted with breaking news, and one major name is already back in the facility. Offensive coordinator Bieniemy, a beloved championship coach, makes an emotional sideline return. A former Super Bowl weapon is suddenly a free agent, and mounting injuries in the wide receiver room have Brett Veach checking his emergency target board. Insiders confirmed the timeline this morning, and here is the first real payoff. Coach Bieniemy is officially back running practices after a terrifying family crisis, bringing his fiery accountability straight back to our offense. If you bleed red and gold more than you hate the Raiders, hit like, smash subscribe right now, and prove the kingdom stands united. We start with the emotional reunion that has all of Kansas City rallying together. A heavy silence hung over the facility for 2 long weeks, leaving fans and players wondering when true leadership would walk back through the doors. The entire organization held its breath while football took a backseat to real life. The identity on everyone's heart? Offensive coordinator Bieniemy. After an agonizing absence, Bieniemy is officially back at Chiefs training camp following a horrifying domestic incident in Virginia. On Sunday, July 26, 2026, his wife Mia Bieniemy was shot inside their Ashburn residence and rushed to the hospital with critical injuries. Authorities swiftly arrested their 27-year-old son, Elijah Zion Bieniemy, charging him with malicious wounding, use of a firearm in the commission of a felony, and shooting within an occupied building. On July 30th, the court ordered Elijah to undergo a formal mental competency evaluation. The Chiefs granted Bieniemy an indefinite personal leave, allowing him to remain constantly at his wife's bedside throughout intensive surgeries and critical stabilization. In his emotional first press appearance since returning, Bieniemy stated that his wife gave him her full blessing to return to work, praising her courage and calling her a true soldier and a saint. He noted that once her condition stabilized, he began studying practice tape remotely, illustrating his legendary dedication to Kansas City. When he walked into the team meeting room, players gave him a thunderous standing ovation, instantly revitalizing the team's focus. This reunion carries monumental tactical weight for the upcoming season. Bieniemy spent nearly a decade in Kansas City from 2013 to 2022, serving as offensive coordinator when Patrick Mahomes captured 2 NFL MVP trophies and built the foundation of this modern dynasty. After stints with the Washington Commanders, UCLA Bruins, and Chicago Bears, Bieniemy returns to restore accountability and edge to the offense. His presence is especially critical as Patrick Mahomes continues recovering from the torn ACL he suffered in December 2025. Mahomes requires precision footwork and top-tier pass protection, 2 non-negotiable fundamentals under Bieniemy's supervision. Bieniemy's arrival brings urgent discipline to third down execution, red zone play calling, and goal line physicality, areas that drifted last year. His presence on the headset gives Andy Reid the ultimate sounding board during high-pressure late-game scenarios. Every rep in practice now carries a relentless urgency that demands perfection from veterans and rookies alike. The offense is visibly sharper, crisper, and infinitely more disciplined with Bieniemy standing yards away from the huddle commanding excellence. During 11-on-11 drills this week, he immediately reset the tempo, barking adjustments at the offensive line and making sure running backs hit cutback lanes without hesitation. That physical, no-nonsense standard is exactly what turned this franchise into a perennial Super Bowl powerhouse. While other teams run soft training camp sessions, Bieniemy pushes players to their absolute conditioning limits, forging mental toughness that pays massive dividends in January playoff football. Patrick Mahomes looked visibly energized, having his longtime mentor back on the sideline orchestrating protections against blitz looks. In his absence, the offensive tempo had occasionally sputtered during situational red zone scrimmages, but his vocal presence instantly brought back the sharp edge and razor-sharp snap timing this championship roster demands. The running backs group in particular has noticeably picked up its blitz pickup discipline under his direct daily instruction. Can this reunion recreate the explosive fireworks that terrified defensive coordinators across the entire league? Do you believe Bieniemy's aggressive mindset will elevate Patrick Mahomes straight back into the MVP conversation this season? Drop your thoughts below, and if you stand firmly with the Bieniemy family during this long recovery, hit that like button right now. But while our sideline gets stronger, a sudden cut in the NFC just opened the door for a controversial reunion. Whispers turned into footsteps across the league as an unexpected transaction sent shockwaves through NFL front offices. The name? JuJu Smith-Schuster. And the question taking over Kansas City is whether Brett Veach will bring the veteran receiver home for a third separate stint. The New York Giants officially cut Smith-Schuster on Tuesday afternoon in a necessary roster move to make room for newly signed running back Najee Harris. JuJu had signed with the Giants earlier this offseason, hoping to revive his production. but a chronic knee issue flared up during training camp, limiting his mobility and forcing New York to cut ties before the regular season even began. As soon as NFL insider Adam Schefter broke the news, the Kingdom went into a frenzy discussing a potential homecoming. Smith-Schuster originally arrived in Kansas City in 2022, providing tough catches over the middle and helping secure a Super Bowl victory over the Eagles before departing for New England. When things fell apart with the Patriots, Veach welcomed him back to Arrowhead for both the 2024 and 2025 campaigns. Over those 2 seasons, he caught 51 passes for 576 yards and 3 scores across 31 games, serving as a dependable short yardage chain mover. Brett Veach has a proven history of bringing back familiar veteran faces, just as he did with Mecole Hardman, Derek Nottie, and Mike Pennell. Those reunions bring immediate comfort because Andy Reid's playbook is notoriously complex and takes outside receivers months to fully understand. JuJu already knows every option route, bunch adjustment, and blocking assignment in the scheme. However, relying on nostalgia can be an absolute trap for a Super Bowl contender. Smith-Schuster has not surpassed 40 receptions or 400 receiving yards in a season since 2022, and his ongoing knee deterioration severely limits his ability to create quick separation against man coverage. At 29 years old, he lacks the vertical speed required to threaten safeties deep down the boundary. Signing him could block valuable roster spots and practice snaps for younger, highly explosive athletes who need repetitions with Mahomes. Championship offenses evolve through speed and dynamic burst, not recycled veterans struggling with lingering physical limitations. Relying on past glory rather than current athletic ability could seriously bottleneck this passing attack during high-stakes divisional games. When opposing defenses play aggressive press coverage, Kansas City needs perimeter burners who can take the top off the secondary, not possession receivers who struggle to generate yards after the catch. Furthermore, carrying multiple players with chronic knee concerns creates massive depth instability if injuries strike during the regular season. Brett Veach built this dynasty by remaining ruthless and forward-thinking, not by letting sentimental nostalgia dictate critical roster decisions. The salary cap space and roster spots must be reserved for players who elevate the physical ceiling of the offense. With younger receivers battling for final roster spots, handing a spot to a player with declining physical explosiveness could stifle the offensive speed profile Andy Reid has tried to modernize. The offense cannot afford to compromise its deep threat spacing just to maintain familiar personal comfort in the slot. Is JuJu's undeniable chemistry with Patrick Mahomes worth the injury risk, or would bringing him back simply stall the necessary evolution of our passing attack? Would you sign Smith-Schuster to a veteran minimum contract, or is it time for Brett Veach to close this chapter for good? Let me know in the comments below. But while fans debate JuJu, a separate injury crisis at training camp has put a completely different veteran receiver on high alert. A long-term target of Brett Veach has suddenly resurfaced on the radar as injury alarms blare inside the facility. Sources confirm Veach has tracked this veteran for years, and the player generating massive buzz right now is Josh Reynolds. The 31-year-old wide receiver is currently touring the NFL on free agent visits, recently completing a formal workout for the New Orleans Saints after their first-round rookie Jordan Tyson suffered a severe hamstring tear expected to sideline him for 2 full months. Now Kansas City's own mounting injury list makes Reynolds an extremely logical emergency option. The Chiefs' receiving core is facing serious health issues in St. Joseph. Rashee Rice is still battling to return from major off-season knee surgery. Xavier Worthy is back on the field but already dealt with a shoulder scare this summer after playing through multiple injuries as a rookie. Rookie Cyrus Allen has been held out with a painful shin bruise. And to make matters worse, Tyquan Thornton was carted off the field during Tuesday's practice session, leaving the depth chart dangerously thin. These sudden injuries have forced raw undrafted free agents into primary reps, creating timing mistakes and disrupting offensive continuity. Back in 2021, Brett Veach aggressively pursued Reynolds in free agency before losing him to the Tennessee Titans. Reynolds later played for the Detroit Lions, Denver Broncos, and Jacksonville Jaguars. In 2024, Denver gave him a 2-year free agent deal, but his season unraveled due to a fractured hand and minor injuries suffered during an early morning shooting in Denver, limiting him to 24 catches for 295 yards and 1 touchdown across the past 2 years. Despite that dip in production, Reynolds stands 6'3" with exceptional catch radius, proven third down reliability, and extensive red zone experience. His size gives the Chiefs an outside possession weapon who can win contested balls against aggressive boundary corners, providing balance against smaller slot targets. Because Reynolds has operated in multiple pro-style offenses, he could pick up Reid's protection language and base route concepts in a few days. He provides essential depth without commanding massive cap commitments or long-term guaranteed money. Adding a proven veteran with boundary size allows Andy Reid to run multi-receiver packages without tipping off defensive coordinators on run or pass calls. Reynolds has consistently ranked as a highly disciplined run blocker on the perimeter, an unselfish trait that Bieniemy deeply values in this offensive system. If our young pass catchers need additional weeks to heal, having an experienced pro who can step into live regular season action prevents Patrick Mahomes from shouldering unnecessary pressure in the pocket. His veteran poise in contested catch situations would immediately give the quarterback a reliable boundary target against heavy blitz packages, where young wideouts often fail to read hot routes. Giving Mahomes a 6'3" veteran who can convert critical third downs from day one removes tremendous pressure from the medical staff to rush injured players back. If the current receiver injuries linger toward the regular season, signing Reynolds to a team-friendly deal gives Patrick Mahomes a proven veteran safety valve who can step in immediately on Sundays. Do you want Brett Veach to pick up the phone and sign Josh Reynolds right now? Or should we trust our young, undrafted talent to step up and make plays? Smash that like button if you want to see an outside veteran added to protect Mahomes this year. 3 distinct storylines, one unified goal for Chiefs Kingdom. The emotional return of Eric Bieniemy restores intense leadership and tactical brilliance to our sideline. The sudden availability of JuJu Smith-Schuster forces Brett Veach to weigh comfortable familiarity against needed offensive burst, and the expanding injury list at wide receiver makes veteran free agents like Josh Reynolds prime targets for an emergency workout in Kansas City. We are not stepping off the gas pedal. The Chiefs are loading up for another championship run. Hit that like button if you believe the Chiefs will take home another division title this season. Leave a comment below with your exact prediction for Patrick Mahomes' total passing touchdowns in 2026. And smash that subscribe button right now so you never miss an urgent update from Chiefs Kingdom. But listen closely because the next 48 hours could change the landscape of the AFC. Reports indicate the front office is preparing a formal offer for an outside receiver before the upcoming preseason game. And across the division, the Las Vegas Raiders are quietly clearing salary cap space to make a rival bid on that exact same veteran free agent. Stay locked in because if the kingdom stands united, our rivals do not stand a chance.